There goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, power is over. But that does not mean for one instant of a second that the fun is over. Without a doubt, you are here because the power is out. So stick around, because it's Power Out. Yeah, it's Power Out.
It is Tuesday night, which can only mean one thing. Well, actually, it could mean several things, but if you're joining us live, it only means one particular thing. You are joining us for our live reaction to NWA Powerrr. This is Power Out on Love Wrestling. My name is Zach Ralph. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Mr. J for the fantastic introduction as always. Thank you for watching. If you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, if you're joining us afterwards, like on the replay, or if you're catching the podcast, thanks so much for being here. I'm welcoming my guest co-host this week and a valued member of the Love Wrestling team, John. John, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back to the show.
Well, yeah.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. This is where it all started. This was my first Love Wrestling appearance, and we've been off to the races ever since, as they say. So glad to be back.
Absolutely, and we're glad to have you back. Elephant in the room for anyone who's watching live. As you can see, we have 3 screens going. Man, I am just having the worst luck with my computer lately. My screen, anyone who's been joining us on Blowing Off Stream already knows this, but my camera just keeps dying, and like my microphone won't plug into my phone. So like what I've had to do is set up my microphone to my computer, set up my phone to film me, and I got this whole multi-camera setup, and I can't really, hide that interface on the screen. So, there it is. All my cards are on the table.
The valued third member of our crew tonight.
The tripod keeping the episode of Power Out afloat. So again, top of the show, man, this was I just want to say before we jump in, this is kind of what I want from NWA. This is what I expected when they returned from hiatus, and they're giving it to me, finally giving it to us, but it feels like very much at the 11th hour. What'd you think of tonight's show?
Oh, I thought it was a very stacked show. A lot of good stuff. I know that they've been getting dragged in the mud a little bit over the past few weeks for some questionable decisions, but tonight wasn't one of those nights. I think they hit a lot more than they missed, I would say.
Absolutely. A couple shout outs in the comments. One for you specifically, John, from your friend Throwback. Pluggo. Is it Pluggo? Am I pronouncing that right?
So yes, Pluggo is the condensed version of Wrestling Plug Inc. It got too hard to keep calling me Wrestling Plug Inc. So I think Mr. Warren Hayes dubbed me Pluggo, and it's kind of stuck. And I just have yet to change it on all my stuff because I've been slacking. So what's up, Throwback?
We also got Maddie Cross in the comments saying, yo, Maddie. And of course, the captain of the ship himself, Spenny and the Jets. Good day, friends. Good day to you, sir. Fresh off of his, you did Mine Behind tonight with the one and only Reese on Wrestling. And now we're here for some Power Out. So, many hats for Spencer.
That's right. Jam-packed day. I love wrestling.
Absolutely. It always is. We're just like killing it. Like, I don't like patting ourselves on the back too much, but we are working hard, and I'm really proud of the work that we are doing as a team. Like, this is just friggin', I don't know if I can say that. So I guess that was my one swear word for the night. So
heckin' A.
Heckin' A.
Like we were talking off air behind the curtain a little bit. No, this team we have is just, the community is great. Everybody is like-minded, and we're putting in some effort, and I'm glad that our fans are here supporting us for this venture, because it's been a lot of fun. It's good, heck of a ride. Don't want to curse on Power Out.
Again, I've already used our one swear, man. If we drop another one, we're in trouble. So let's I should edit my notes quickly as we go, but not here nor there. So let's just kick off the show. Again, show kicks off with Joe Galli reminding us that this is the last episode before the pay-per-view, making it the effectively the go-home show, which unfortunately means that next week is going to be another episode of Power Surge, which has kind of been like, they have some original content, but a lot of it's just like a recap show of like what people following NWA already have seen, which is disappointing. But that is what it is. Have you been watching Power Surge?
I caught I want to say the last one, and I was confused because I tuned in for Power and I was like, oh wait, it's kind of a recap show. I'm not sure. Maybe you can shed some light into why they're doing those kind of intermittently throughout. Is it literally like to Power Surge to keep Power going just a little longer? Because it's an odd choice too, going into like you said, this was the go home show, right? And I have no clue if I'm sitting down watching NWA Power for let's say the first time tonight. I have no idea who's on that pay-per-view that they are talking about, right? Like I have no matches have been announced, and you have now 2 weeks and you don't have a full show next week to keep it going. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I think Power Surge does have its value because I think like a tool like that is good at luring new fans. But I'm already subscribed to NWA on Fight. I don't see how this isn't going to catch new viewers because this is only available to people who subscribe to it. If this was freely available on YouTube, I think that would be a hell of a tool for enticing new fans to introduce these characters, and they're not just jumping in the middle of whatever's going on in the recent weeks. They can just jump in and have like a fresh impression when they jump into proper episode of Power. A couple more comments in the from YouTube. TBD called this shot just like many wrestling. That reference is lost on me. Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, no, I think Throwback is talking about his show earlier tonight. One of his buddies called his shot for Throwback is debuting a show title, and one of them has already staked claim to it. So I believe that's where Throwback is going there. But
I see.
Who knows? Who could win that thing?
And a quick what's up from our good friend Chris Parrish. Chris, thank you for joining us tonight. We're still discussing Power, and again, kicking off the show, we're introduced to a different commentary team. Tim Storm is still on assignment, which is a shame because Tim Storm has been excellent, but he's got a really good replacement tonight in the Pope. Galli and Velvet, the second the Pope comes out, they do a great job of they just like put him over. They say he carries himself like a champion. He looks like a champion. I think they're like really setting the stage for him to maybe achieve Lucky 7 and being able to relinquish the TV championship for a shot at the NWA title.
Oh, absolutely. If you guys remember the first time I was on here, I'm all in on Pope all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I think he is amazing. He did have a few slip-ups during his commentary stint. I'm not going to hold that against him because he's the Pope. But yes, I think what they need to do is they've got Nick Aldis, he's playing that really slimy heel role really well. So building up Pope to be the babyface counter to that is probably a good thing. Like, I mean, for as much as Trevor Murdoch is trying, do we really see Murdoch as your NWA World's Champion taking it off of Nick Aldis? I don't, but that's me. So like I said, building Pope up into being this just like great babyface type champion is probably a good move.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And our good friend, a staple of the Love Wrestling community, Ed Fries. You know what? I never actually pronounced your last name out loud, and I'm probably making a fool of myself. Go ahead.
We'll go with Fries. What's up, Ed?
Fries?
Yeah. I mean,
feel free to correct us, Ed. Either way, we're happy to see you as always. And yes, couldn't agree more. Pope versus Aldis could be, and I think will be, something else. The opening contest, we're getting a tag team championship match between Kratos, Aaron Stevens, and the War Kings. Kicks off with an interview. Not much that we don't already know, that there's big dissension between the tag team champions themselves. Stevens, calls Kratos what he is. He's a mercenary who accepted a payment back in 2020, which led to a scenario where they won the tag team titles. And, that is what it is. They still enter the ring together. Well, no, excuse me. They enter the ring from separate sides, which is a really cool detail. Anyway, the match starts, man. Oh boy, we get a hoss fight to start the match. We got Kratos and Dane just wailing on each other, and that's exactly how I wanted this match to start.
No, it was a good start to the match. I couldn't help but pop a little bit. Pope got him confused.
I get it.
I don't know if you caught it, but he called, well, not Kratos, Dane. Dane, yeah, he called him Kratos, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, Pope, what are you doing? But no, that was a good way to start that match. I can't complain with two big old guys going at it. That's always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Eventually Stevens gets into the match and he's isolated. He's playing Ricky Morton for a better part of the match. Then Kratos gets in. Like, there's a lot of back and forth. I think at least Kratos and Stevens are tagging in one another, but they still can't compete with the War Kings, who are working as a cohesive unit. The finish comes, still a lot of trash talk between the tag champs. Stevens avoids the War Kings finishing move, that beautiful suplex into an elbow from the top. He rolls out of the way of the elbow. Kratos gets the hot tag. Then a third man in a mask and hoodie comes out. He has like brass knuckles or something, and he just wails on Crimson, knocking him out cold, allowing Kratos to get the 1, 2, 3 end of the match. What'd you think?
I kept trying to pause it to catch who that masked man is, but I couldn't quite make out who it would be. So it was a good end of the match. I really thought for sure that this would have been not War Machine as Pope called him. He did call them the War Machine. But he did. But because like I said, when Pope's on, I listen, man. I love the way that guy like flows. But no, I thought for sure this might be the opportunity to take the belts off of Stevens and Kratos and maybe set something up for the pay-per-view coming up in a couple weeks. But they went which is another good wrinkle. Now we've got, who's the third man? Did Stevens hire that guy? Did Kratos hire that guy? Did they, you know what I mean? Is it somebody on their own volition? I can't wait to find out on that end.
That's a very good point. I never considered that it might be actually someone within the tag team champs who might have put that person in that position to do so. Because I agree with you. I thought this could have been a good end for Kratos and Stevens to end their championship reign. I think they've done everything they can with that story, but maybe they have something in the back burner. Like, the only thing I could think of is I remember when Sting and the Giant were WCW tag team champs, and then I believe, Giant went to NWO, Sting went to Wolfpack, and then they had a one-on-one match for the tag team championships, and would choose their partner. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe
that's what I was thinking too. But I thought, come on, they're not going to do that, are they?
Why not? It's certainly.
Why not? It's not something that's done all the time.
Yeah, and it's certainly maybe a little outside of NWA's more traditional, grounded. They're very set in the ways of these are the rules of wrestling, and maybe doing something as sensational as a singles match for tag team champions. The tag team championship is a little strange, but who knows? They might give it a go.
But this is the same promotion that does loser stays.
Yeah.
So why not?
Absolutely. Ed pops into the comments confirming both fries and freeze are both acceptable, and I will certainly be alternating between both of them, and I'm not sure if it'll be intentionally. So all the same, Ed, thank you very much. And I actually want to say one thing. Ed will be joining us this Thursday on Quizplex as one of the contestants, and again, valued member of the Love Wrestling community, so we are wishing him luck. It's going to be a hell of a game.
He's just trying to get all the swag out of Love Wrestling, man. He won a mug last Thursday on Between Two Beards, man. Cheers to you, Ed. Killing it.
Absolutely. Big cheers to Ed. I don't have my mug right now. It's so just got my H2O over here. But again, solid opening contest. I think, if I'm spitballing and I don't really have any more rhyme or reason behind this on who that man in the hoodie and mask could be, I think maybe it was Slice Boogie because he's had issues with Dane, but I thought that was resolved. So I don't know. I'm just going to leave that up in the air and watch it unfold, I suppose.
For sure.
Yeah. So next up is Davis. Kyle Davis is welcoming Nick Aldis for an interview before an exhibition contest. Davis is asking if there's a regret about asking Strictly Business to relinquish their tag team championship opportunity a few weeks back, which, that was a whole thing. And man, that's I don't want to get into another rant about that particular episode. But Aldis deflects as he always does. He questions the integrity of wrestling journalism, particularly Kyle Davis and Joe Galli themselves. The takeaway here is that Davis shows Aldis a list of tonight's challenges of the number one contendership battle royal, and it includes, much to Nick Aldis's chagrin, Trevor Murdoch. He sells this really well, man. He's just like quietly frustrated and like studies the list, making sure it has its name. Really good work by Aldis right here.
Yeah, and you glossed over the fact that he made Kyle Davis dance.
And not only any dance, he made him do, Kyle Davis decided to do the Das Wonder Kid, the Alex Wright dance. And I think that cements his position as the best interviewer in all of professional wrestling.
Yeah, no, he's killing it on these interviews. He plays off of Aldis really well. They really kind of gel, in my opinion, in terms of interviewee and interviewer type deal. Aldis, of course, is playing this. I almost kind of wish, I know why he's doing it, but I kind of wish he wasn't so afraid of Trevor Murdoch. Like, I know that I just want him to, in a little bit, just be like, all right, fine. But because in his mind, he knew later on, as we'll talk about the Battle Royal, he had some aces in the hole.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish he would have played that up just a little bit, not maybe gave it away, but just been like, oh, you want to show up? And by the way, that was a quick 30 days.
Yeah. Actually, I was speaking to Josiah McDonald, who covers the NWA beat for Wrestling Observer, and he counted it at 28. Not going to give NWA too hard of a time about it, but if we really wanted to nitpick, we could give them a hard time. Ed jump in and say this is the only place he's catching NWA Power right now. It's a good deal for NWA because they're actually getting paid for their content as opposed to giving it away for free on YouTube. But it is unfortunate that they've lost a lot of their passionate fan base, and hopefully NWA Power or some NWA content becomes more readily available for wrestling viewers in the near future. But all the same, maybe Nick Aldis wasn't playing it cool. Maybe he was a little fired up about that, but that did fuel what happened in the exhibition contest with Mims. Because Aldis comes in hot, man. He's hot at Joe Galli, which is a little unclear because Joe Galli doesn't exactly have any kind of recognized authority on NWA programming. Anyway, but all that to say, Mims gets some fire in, but Aldis is just outclassing him and in just every way, coming back very quickly. Finish comes, very interesting sequence of a Michinoku driver, followed by a tombstone pile driver, followed by a flying elbow, and then eyes locked on Galli with the clover leaf to tap Mims out. Again, pure outclassing by Aldis. I think this told the story that it needed to be, which is that of a dominant champion who needed to remind everyone who the hell he is, and just escalated that conflict between Galli and Aldis, which seems to be going somewhere.
Yeah, if I'm Joe Galli, I'm scared, man. And then, yeah, like you said, it was a little odd that I like Mims. I've said that before a few times on this program, whether in the comments or when I was on air. I think Mims looks the part of a future contender in this business, and they just took him to the outback and just said, "Nah, sorry, Aldis is going to destroy you." He's pulling out tombstones. I can't remember the last time I saw Aldis do a tombstone or anybody do a tombstone. Really, they don't happen that often anymore. So it was really a big statement win by your champion heading into it was the Shadows Fall.
When our shadows fall. I've gaffed the title more than once, and I was even Joe Galli had a couple different variants of the title, but before the night was done. But when our shadows fall, I'm pretty sure that's it. Before we continue, I almost don't want to put this comment on the screen, but I'm going to. Oh boy, Mr. J, the one and only, another beloved member of creators within our circle, demands a demonstration of the dance. Man, I'm not.
The floor is yours, man. I think he did something like this, right? I don't mind.
Something like that.
There it is.
I'm not getting you a birthday present ever again, Mr. J. That was it, man. That's all the giving you get forever and
We
always.
need to get that clipped off and use that for promotional purposes.
Yeah. You know, as the person who's in charge of like doing all the videos and clipping for various Love Wrestling content, you know, maybe that one might fall on the cutting room floor and I don't know, just disappeared. Who knows? Lost to the ages.
Oh, sorry.
Really sorry. But you never know. Then Spencer's going to suddenly learn how to do it just so he can get that clip and antagonize me a little further. But back to Mims for a second. You know, I actually did think he was kind of the perfect opponent for all this tonight because like Mims continues to impress, but he hasn't like picked up that win in this season. How can I articulate this? It felt like rather than like snuffing out like the glow of like a promising talent, it just felt like Nick Aldis kicking around some burning coals, you know?
Yeah, well, it kind of too. I mean, as much as like I said, I like Mims, though. I wonder what our reaction would have been if Mims would have took him to the limit, right? It doesn't have the same effect.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't drive the point home that Nick Aldis is still a force to be reckoned with. And I think again, the way he's been playing his character throughout this season, you know, he's been playing a little scared, little chicken stuff heel, if you will. Since I used the curse word earlier. So this is a way to remind us, like, yeah, this guy's been champion forever, but he still can get it done, right? He still, when it's time to strap him on, tie up those boots, no business, take no prisoners, gets it just done, and that's what you need because I mean he's been champion for like 6 years, it feels like. So you kind of forget sometimes how good he is.
Very much, very true, very well articulated. Spencer's confirming it. He's going to learn how to clip. It's like a little Twitch command. I see how this works. And Zach the Wonder Kid, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And again, my next door neighbor, who I'm gonna yell at from my balcony, says he wins tonight, and you know that's questionable.
Things go off the rails when I get on the stream, man. I don't know if it's just me. You're dancing. Spencer was yelling at me last week.
You're just you're an instigator. You're a troublemaker, but you don't mean to be.
I guess so.
This next contest, man, was something special. It was so good, but there is a small blemish on the match itself that I think could derail our conversation if we address it in the middle of our reaction. So let's just get this out of the way for a second. Due to a wardrobe malfunction, this match has been edited for content. Again, I'm not criticizing NWA for protecting their talent and sticking to their brand. That's important. My cat is joining me. But you know, you're an edited show. You're you recorded this, I don't know, however many weeks ago. You have, I don't know how many cameras pointing at that ring. And you don't want to blur out your whole screen on such a highly anticipated match. I don't know why they just didn't go to like the hard cam for a better part of that. Sorry, my cat's really annoying me now. And like have isolated blurs wherever they absolutely need to have it. You know, I just I shouldn't be laughing in the middle of like such a really awesome contest because of this bold production choice.
Your cat didn't like it either, so
no.
Yeah, it was odd. It was like it's Thunder Rosa. I'm blanking on her name because your cat is on the screen. Oh my gosh,
Kamille. I know
Kamille,
he's the worst.
Oh my god. Like I love. Anyway, this is the match we've been waiting for. Yeah, the stipulation's been goofy, and then you're in it, and it's a good match, and then it just. I thought something was wrong with my feed at first. I was like, "Wait, what's going on here?" And then so I'm watching it, and as they're running around the ring, and they blurred out, but you could see like in the blurs that Kamille and Thunder Rosa are laying on the mat, not doing anything. So that says to me somebody did have the forefront to probably like just stay down right now, because you know that's why wouldn't you just kind of cut that for a few minutes, or like you said, go to another camera, and that way we're not, because unfortunately, again, like I kind of alluded to earlier, if this is your first time sitting down watching on Powerrr, you're like, let me gear up for the pay-per-view, so I'll buy it for this month and get geared up. You're gonna take that away, right? Like that's the first thing you're gonna go, yeah, they had a wardrobe malfunction on screen and like blurred out the best match of the night. that another thing to just kind of dog NWA for, and that's unfortunate for everybody involved. But like you said, I'm not going to sit here and say they shouldn't have blurted out, because that's just wrong and ridiculous. Like, yes, keep that blurred, keep that off the screen, but do something to try to take away from it, is what I was hoping that they would have done.
Yeah, like this just kind of like put a big target on like something that was like it was a gaffe, and it was important to protect it. It just like it made the situation worse. The solution made the problem worse. I mean, Spencer's in the comments saying he didn't catch that part. Was it done in storyline or something along those lines? If it was done in storyline, man, then it was really just not fitting. Like this was that would be a square peg in a round hole.
And we're
like
all wrestling fans, and we've all seen the wardrobe malfunction happen in other promotions, but they never draw attention to it, and like they immediately cut away to something, anything. Even if they cut away mistakenly to Kyle Davis in the background is better than for like what felt like a minute and a half. It just felt long. It probably wasn't a minute and a half, but it just felt like it took away so much of what was a really good match.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Canadian Goose popping in. Hong Kong boys. Love wrestling content coming straight out of Compton with this NWA recap. Yeah, we're covering a different NWA. I don't know if you're watching, Goose, but no, not that NWA. It's funny actually that you bring up New Japan, because like Ed kind of made a comment. Yeah, again, I do apologize for the audio video desynchronization between for myself, but again, the alternative was rather poor audio.
It's me doing this by myself, and Zach is really good at this. I'm just here to support him.
Oh, dude, you are fantastic. There is a reason that, again, John's like, been welcome into the Love Wrestling family with open arms, but when he was, like this all stemmed out of you being a guest on PowerrrOut, and it was, it wasn't because of me. It was because of you. You were excellent then, just as you've been excellent with everything you've been doing, between two beards, every Love Wrestling reacts that you've been a part of. It is great content, dude. You are great at this. Believe me.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I just meant you got the notes. You got it all down, and I'm just here to spit my my fun side of the things as best I can. So I appreciate always being on these bad boys. It's a lot of fun.
Ed clarifying that I misunderstood, that it was more so the blurring of the match, not this show. Okay. Please excuse me. I'm not used to spinning all these plates, the comments, the dialogue, the cat. It's just too much. By the way, is this Giddy? Is this Josh's cat Giddy, like making an appearance somehow? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
My dog made an appearance on a podcast not too long ago. And then I did an MLW reacts with Spencer, and my kid and Bunny popped up in the background, and I was like, "Hey, how did you get there?" So,
I don't want to.
Here on Love Wrestling, we're animal friendly.
Absolutely. I don't want to like derail the conversation with like 4-year-old memes, but like I'll always laugh for the BBC Girl clip of a guy being interviewed and then like his daughter she walks in like Vince McMahon, and it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm going to put it in like maybe the comments or something, or the link description, because it's an important clip and I think everyone needs to see it. But let's jump into the match itself. Now that we've gotten the blur out of the way, let's actually talk about the hell of a contest we watched. Thunder Rosa versus Kamille, #1 contenderships match for also a loser stays in town match. Not going to scrutinize the stipulation too much because we've already done that at length. But again, match kicks off. Thunder Rosa and Melina enter, followed by Kamille and Taryn Terrell. Thunder Rosa's smart at the beginning. She's quick. She's just absolutely working the legs of Kamille and just like keeping her off her game. Eventually, the power. Kamille is able to overpower, and the power game just dominates Rosa for the next stretch of the match. Thunder Rosa keeps trying to rally, but she just keeps getting shut down because Kamille is just too big, too strong. Eventually, Taryn and Melina try to get involved, but they get thrown out awful quick by the ref. Melina comes back shortly after, and she gets dropped by a clothesline by Kamille, which affords Rosa a very near fall. One of the coolest things I've ever seen. Schoolboy into a code breaker. Really cool. Anyway, they run to the finish of the match. series of spears, series of submissions, and it looks like Kamille is about to tap to like an abdominal stretch / arm wrench, just a brutal looking submission. But then the match reaches a time limit draw. Oh man, absolute clinic. Please go first. This is just a joy to watch.
Yeah, no, anytime, and I tweeted this out earlier, anytime Thunder Rosa is on my TV screen, it's a good time. That woman is phenomenal. And then you throw Kamille in the mix. Again, we will get the stipulation aside, right? It was 20 minutes outside of the blur issue. It was 20 minutes of just pure talent showcased. Like, there was nothing more to say about it. It was a crisp match. Those two look like they've got a really good chemistry in the ring. The ending I had to go back and watch it again. I was like, wait a minute, did she tap? Because I thought maybe Galley misspoke because he called it as she was tapping, but then the ref came in and said, no, time stoppage, because she couldn't tap the way she had her. So in a weird way, Thunder Rosa kind of did that to herself, right? She puts her in this move where she can't tap or give up, and then the time ran out, and that's the way they get out of that stipulation, I guess. I'm interested to see if they run this one back at the pay-per-view, maybe.
That's what I'm wondering as well. Rye Levy, who joined us this past week on Blowing Off Stream, jump in and say it was solid. Again, Rye is also a past guest of PowerrrOut. Happy to have you in the comments, friend. If you have any more comments, observations about the night's show, this of course goes for anyone in the comment section, be you on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. I'm monitoring it all. Please let us know how you feel about tonight's show. But yeah, man, absolute clinic. Kamille is still learning, but she's paired up with Thunder Rosa, who made her look like $1 million. Just like really great psychology of Rosa working the limbs throughout the match, and just like enough spots to keep the match lively. It wasn't. I like a good submission match. I like that good slow pace and everything, but like this didn't feel like that. That the energy was there, like the sunset flip bomb, the schoolboy into the code breaker I was referring to, and of course like Kamille just powering out of these submissions and just like picking Thunder Rosa up from a crossface position into her rolling Samoan drop or rolling fireman's carry. Yeah. Just really great stuff. And yeah, like it does leave the stipulation up in the air because Thunder Rosa, like she didn't lose the match. So does she have to stay in NWA? Is she grounded in NWA? But
it was quick 20 minutes too. Like you said, it went so fast. And yeah, like this is the longest match I think I've seen Kamille have maybe in her entire NWA career. Cause usually they don't go 20 minutes.
Nope.
Cause she's usually squashing people. So, like you said, I think Thunder Rosa was really trying to wear her down, and it just wasn't happening. And I think you could even kind of tell at the end, this isn't over. I mean, Thunder Rosa was popping off, getting in the camera's face. She was like, I'm still here, but she thinks she won, right? Like, she feels like she won. So I think they're going to play that up. They have to play it up. I don't think you can just leave this where it is.
I think so, too. I think, I think what might happen, pure speculation on my part, is like the winner was supposed to go on to face Serena Deeb at When Our Shadows Fall. I think because this led to a time limit draw, we're going to have a triple threat scenario at the pay-per-view. Oh my God, Cat, stop. Okay, I'm just going to hold him. And I think like maybe they'll keep that scenario in place where if Thunder Rosa doesn't leave with the NWA Championship, then she will be stuck in the promotion. Again, very bad optics, but again, not here nor there.
I could get why you want to keep Thunder Rosa for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah,
she's bad at. You used up the word already, man.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to find some room in that budget for some curse words. But no, you'd want to keep her. But and then I know that this isn't the NWA Power show, but if you watch Dynamite, Thunder Rosa is very adamant about winning both titles. So maybe this is the way you kind of start that road. I don't know. I would love to see a triple threat with Serena Deeb, Rosa, and Kamille. I think that would be probably the match of the night. Honestly, yeah. Serena Deeb is fantastic. I'd like to see her on NWA more.
Yes,
I don't think we see it. She's back from injury. Let's get her going on NWA.
Yeah, I think she must be like in line to make an appearance on Power Surge next week, and hopefully, and like certainly certainly, you never know, showing up at the pay-per-view. But yeah, again, just last thing I really want to say about that stipulation, man. I like you say, I get it. You want to keep a talent like Thunder Rosa like in your promotion. I totally get that, but like, imagine the stakes are no, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck in our promotion. It makes it seem like the punishment is this place that has so much reverence and value. You're trying to tell me that this promotion is like valuable and it's so historied and but staying there,
yeah.
but staying there sucks, and you shouldn't want that. Like,
and how would you play that? Is Rosa going to come out just disappointed every time she's on Power, and then you're one of your top faces of your company is just sad that they have to be there? Like, it didn't hit with me. But hey, like you said, we've beat that between multiple shows.
Yeah,
to a pulp. We can just keep on moving.
But the takeaway here is we got to watch one hell of a match between Thunder Rosa and Kamille, and I look forward. The past couple of weeks, I haven't looked forward to what the next chapter is between the two, but now I'm like, yeah, give me what's next. I can't wait.
I thought this was going to be on the pay-per-view, the way they were putting it up, and then the fact that it was on the Powerrr that I came back to join you on, I was like, all right, let's go.
Absolutely. Match ends. The episode ends with the 14-man battle royal for the #1 contendership. We got Joe Galli, Nick Aldis, and Austin Idol on the call. Really great commentary team, I must say. The big surprise at the top of the match is Chris Adonis is entered in spite of champions being unwelcome in this battle royal, at which point Nick Aldis reveals that Chris Adonis proved his loyalty to Strictly Business by relinquishing the North American Championship. So that's going to be big. I think it's going to lead to a lot of really interesting conflict between Strictly Business and also a lot of like what's going to happen next for the North American Championship.
Maybe he can win it back,
Yeah,
but he did it just to earn that respect, and then they win it back. And
and again, we know how it goes. Like when we watch the match unfold, Aldis and Joe, Aldis is doing like such a great job at disparaging Murdoch throughout this match. He's just like ripping him a new one verbally. He's doing more offense than anyone in that ring is doing to him. There's like a really great back and forth between Joe Galli speaking on Murdoch's behalf and Aldis just trying to rip him a new one. Lots of chaos as per any battle royal, and not really anything that moves along any other story aside from the championship picture, except for one little detail. When I saw that the War Kings eliminated one another, and like there's a little tension on the outside, so we might see how that unfolds. Final four, we get Tom Latimer, we get Chris Adonis, we get Trevor Murdoch, and we get Austin Idol's client. Before a 3-on-1 can happen, the Pope sneaks out and he drags Idol's client out of the ring, eliminating him.
Babyface move,
dude. Big babyface move. And again,
over now. That was the worst dragging out of a ring I've ever seen. I'm going to say that right now. But
yeah,
Pope forever, babyface in my eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would rather Pope be moving on from that program. But hey,
he's got to win a couple more, and then he'll be on to Aldis.
Yeah, absolutely. And, gets one more championship defense, hopefully, and then hopefully moves on, leaves Austin Idol's client in the dust. Hopefully Austin Idol can find a new client to represent on the on National Wrestling Alliance. But, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Murdoch is left in the ring with Strictly Business. He's fighting a 2-on-1 scenario, but finally a mistake by Adonis leads to Murdoch picking up the victory, and he is going to win our Shadows Fall to face Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship. I mean, this one was written in stone going in, but it was still a really good moment to see Trevor Murdoch like pick up such a good victory. After the match, there's a bit of a scuffle between Strictly Business on the outside before Nick Aldis jumps in, tries to take down Murdoch from behind. Murdoch fights back. He hits his big, beautiful bulldog from the top rope. He goes to the commentary booth. says wishes Harley was here. Just like he's really emotional, which it was just beautiful. Yeah. Before I hand the floor off to you, like I just wanted to say that like you see a lot of emotional wrestlers get emotional when they win the championship. I have never seen someone get emotional when they won the #1 contendership, and I think that made the championship just even more important because like it speaks for itself. It's itself. It's the stepping stone to the championship, which is just as valuable as getting closer to the championship. Murdoch knocked this out of the park, man.
Yeah. I think I've seen it twice. I think Belair did it when she won the Rumble, and that was the first time I've seen it. And then Murdoch, but it doesn't happen often. You're absolutely right. And like you said, this match was set in stone. They've been putting this together for the last, pretty much all season, if you will. This has been the season of Murdoch and all this. But just because it's predictable doesn't mean it was bad. So once you got Murdoch 2-on-1. You knew it was coming. You just didn't know how. But now there's this nice little riff going with Strictly Business, so we'll see how that kind of plays out, and if that maybe that affects or comes a factor. I mean, this is the one burning question I guess I had for you outside of like who takes the title off of Aldis. Is there anybody in NWA right now that does it? Like, at what point do you do it? Do you think Murdoch has a shot here?
I don't think Murdoch has a shot. They're going to tell us a hell of a story, and I can't wait to watch it unfold. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe like he'll surprise us all. But I think it's so weird to say about a reign that has lasted as long as Aldis's, but like it doesn't feel like the right time. And it's not because like his championship hasn't done everything it can. It's just like surrounding him. There's not many talents who could maybe elevate the championship even further. I don't know if the next person to win the NWA championship is even in-house. Maybe it's Pope, maybe it's Murdoch, maybe it's, I don't know. But if I'm like shooting Hail Marys on like bold predictions or something, I would love someone like Chris Hero to come to NWA. I would love, and this is a pipe dream, Samoa Joe come into NWA. I think either of those might be good choices, and I think either of those would be choices that would be enticing to both Billy Corgan and Nick Aldis. But again, that's pure speculation. Ed Freeze says like Pope could be the one to do it. Maybe someone on the way up should do it. Absolutely, it's got to be an up and comer. Yeah. How about you, man? Like you posed the question, but do you have any thoughts on that? On who can dethrone Adonis?
Well, that's
dethrone Aldis.
Adaldis, is that their
Adaldis
tag team name? Well, that's where I'm at, right? So maybe this Strictly Business, dissension or rift could cause Aldis to maybe lose the title, and Murdoch wins it and has that moment on. It's a great moment to become the #1 contender. Imagine winning the title. Maybe he doesn't keep it long, and they give it back to Aldis. But I'm watching NWA as often as you are, and he is the show. He is that title. They haven't done anything in the last like 965 days or whatever it's been to make us believe anybody else is even worthy of it, which is great. Long title reigns are fantastic, and they're very old school. So I know why they're going that route, but honestly, I can't. I mean, outside, I don't know why, but today I was like, maybe not to win the NWA title, but I think like a Bo Dallas or like a Curtis Axel would be a lot of fun in the NWA. I know it's out there, right? Like Bo Dallas had the whole Believe gimmick, but I think he'd fit really well in that kind of environment. And Curtis Axel has the history of being a second generation talent, so it could be, or is he third? He might be third. So
he's third, yeah.
So just like you said, I don't think they're in house right now as much as I think this Murdoch story is going really well, and they're making him look very sympathetic and very underdogish. I just don't know if he's going to get it done, but somebody at some point, just for pure, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm blanking on the word. Pure, just shaking things up and keeping it fresh. Aldis needs some kind of challenger that we are going to believe is going to take it from him.
Absolutely,
if not actually do it, so that we're shocked. We're like, oh shoot, this has been like 3 years running, and Aldis is But then I don't know what you do with Nick Aldis when he doesn't have that title, because he is that title at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Like he's
Rant
so
over.
no, he's synonymous with the championship, and I really like your pick of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, specifically Curtis Axel out of the two. And again, not the only one. Spency. I'm liking all these new names I'm inventing tonight. Saying Joe Hennig would absolutely be an incredible shout. I think I think he fits NWA like a glove, and I think that would be very interesting to see. Ed jumps in as well. Dallas would be great. Bo Leave was a great heel running NXT before he got moved up, and I think it could have its place in NWA as well. And here we go. And once again from Spenny. And honestly, Bo Dallas isn't a bad one either. He's just a third generation star too. I think
he's creative. He's very creative. I don't think he's going to go in there and do the Bo Leave gimmick, but I think he could come up with something old school that fits that style. And he's young enough where it's not like no offense to our man Tim Storm, love Tim Storm, but he's young enough that he could, if the NWA wants to be successful, they need to start getting some younger guys in there to start building for future.
100%, absolutely. But like all in all, I thought this was a really good show. This episode made me more excited for the pay-per-view than pretty much anything they've done in recent weeks. So yes, I will be catching When Our Shadows Fall. We're going to be, of course, doing a live reaction to that. But what about you? Will you be catching When Our Shadows Fall based on what you've seen in the tonight and in recent weeks?
That's on the plans. I got to see what's going on. That's Saturday, June 6th, I believe.
Saturday, June 6th.
Super weird to have your go home show and then have 2 weeks kind of not. But hey, I mean, I wish they would have announced a few more matches or any matches, honestly, for this card. They haven't yet. So I'm hoping next week is just one big power surge of like, here's what we're going to do. And this is why we're going to do it. And then, yeah, that's my plan, is to definitely check it out. I think I enjoy the NWA with what they're doing, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And the pay-per-views are always really good. Really good job.
Absolutely.
And they make them feel special because they give them the music, right? They give them music. They come down from the crowd. They don't just come out the curtain.
It's those little details that make it just like all that more important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One more shout from the comments for one more bold prediction. Call me crazy, Mr. J. I always call you crazy, but how cool would it be if Aldis is the one who beats down Omega to keep the belt? Oof, that's a bold prediction. To be if Nick Aldis, on top of his absurdly long reign, is also the one to dethrone the belt collector. That's bold, sir. That's bold. I say this with all the love in the world, but keep dreaming, I think, on that one.
I think Aldis is kind of on the record that he doesn't want to do much, or if anything, with AEW at this point. I think he's all in, not pun intended, with the NWA right now. And I think they're really, like you said, they're got a good spot right now. I think they're really trying to build this into something that's sustainable. Unlike, unfortunately, last time it got cut short, and I think they don't want that to happen again. So he's focusing heavy on there, I believe, is what I would think he's doing if he doesn't want to work with AEW. I mean, everybody's working with AEW these days.
Absolutely. Friend, this was an absolutely wonderful recording with you. Another episode of PowerrrOut. You're the first return guest, actually. I should actually throw that out there. So thank you for doing so. Before I let you go, please let us know what you're up to this week in Love Wrestling and beyond, of course.
Love Wrestling and beyond. Well, this week, tomorrow, I will be stopping by the Crazy Wicked Pinfall Screw Throwbacks thing. It's this 1-year anniversary show. If anybody wants to stop by and say hi, do that. Thursday, Between Two Beers, we'll be here. We'll be here at 8:00 as the lead into Quizzleplex. So we're going to go about an hour. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Who knows what's going to upset Spencer? We're going to see what happens. I got a couple other things in the works that I haven't quite announced yet, but once I know all the details, you guys will. But I think I got something coming up Saturday. Just stay locked in at Wrestling Plug Inc. on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all the details on that coming in.
Wonderful, dude. Thanks once again for being a part of this. As mentioned, as it just popped up in the comments, we're going to be rating the fine folks at Putting You Over immediately following tonight's edition of PowerrrOut. This is, of course, exclusively on Twitch. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, it's just going to kind of play and pitter out. But yeah, head on over to Twitch, be a part of the Putting You Over stream. As you can tell, it is just a very well-loved show. And actually, one more comment for the boss from John indirectly via Ed Freeze, another draft to upset the boss. Fireworks. We can only hope. Everyone,
you never know what's going to happen on Between Two Beards, man. But thank you, Zach, for having me on again, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for being part of it. And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight, being live, being it after the fact. However you caught tonight's Power Out, much appreciated. We might be back next week. I haven't really made it a habit to cover Power Surge, but as a go-home show into the pay-per-view, who knows? Just follow us on Facebook. Who uses Facebook? Twitch. You don't follow people on Twitch. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media gimmicks. You can find out whether we're going to be back next week, but we will be back for the pay-per-view. Till then, friends.